Hello everyone. So today we have Ishan and Amit with us. They are class apart, so they are coming from totally different background, totally different cities. But one thing they have in common, that is they have converted the Holy Trinity, or they have converted all the three top B schools of India. That is IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, and IIM Calcutta. They have many other converts, but we are just taking them through the journey of like how they have converted this and what were the motivation of going for this journey. So first I'll introduce Amit. So Amit is coming from Kanpur. He had completed his BTech in computer science in 2022. After that he started working in Geo. Yeah, you heard it right. He's working for a Geo, and that too in a 5G implementation. So now you can imagine the rigor of his work. So he was working continuously for 12 to 14 hours and then preparing for CAT. Even that, after that, he had scored good enough to crack the all Holy Trinity. So, if if I go further, so he was the first person from his village who has engineering degree. So now you can imagine that the person who had coming from such a humble background, and then he will also be the first person, I think, not only in village, on his locality, like 50-kilometer radius, who is going to join IIM Ahmedabad. Then the second part we have the Ishan. So Ishan comes from Chandigarh. He has completed his BTech from BITS Goa, the KK Birla campus. After that, he used to work for Wells Fargo, but prior to CAT, he has left his job because his work ex was reaching like 27 months. Then one thing that I find very interesting about Ishan is that he's a national level player in badminton. He has won many laurels in the badminton. So now we can see the contrast, like they are coming from a totally different cities, but even after that they are able to convert, right? So we will hear from them what went in their favor. Maybe I'm not saying that everything was going in their favor. We have seen the ups and downs in their journey, but they are the best person who can tell us what went well, so we can follow this, and how we can avoid the mistakes that normally the participants see, or they should avoid in their CAT preparation journey. So over to you, Amit. That what was the point that when you have decided to go for MBA, because you are just a 2022 pass out from the engineering college. So what was the main motivation of going for this journey? Over to you, Amit.
Okay. Oh, hi. Good morning, everyone. So, yes, after I passed out 12th from HBTI, like in school, I decided to do an engineering degree as everyone around me was doing engineering and thinking that engineering is the career option which we should choose. But when I joined HBTI Kanpur in computer science and engineering, I found out that it's not my field that I'm interested in. I was more interested toward humanities subjects like economics, politics, and all. So I decided to pursue career in UPSC or CSC civil services examination. But just after my first year, I realized that the path which I was taking was not short of having a success in that, as I was coming from a background where we needed to be successful in some scenarios to accomplish that, as my father had his goal or his inspiration that we would become successful. So I decided to towards CAT, and then I started preparing at the end of my third year. In my final year exam last year, I converted IIM Indore and NITI and other colleges, but decided to reattempt for Holy Trinities or ABC. So yeah, that's it. That was my motivation behind.
Yeah, thanks, Amit. So thanks for like sharing your motivation. So we find like success ratio of UPSC exam is just 0.15%, right? So if we go by the this year data, so out of like 1,000 people, only 15 got selected, right? Or even lesser than that. So maybe because of that, Amit have decided to go for a journey where if you are doing putting all your efforts, you have a better chance of selection. I'm I'm not saying that if you put everything you have a sure shot chance, but yeah, here the probability of getting selected is more. So Ishan, over to you. Ishan, you are on mute.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, thank you, sir. So my journey is a bit different from Amit's. When I graduated from my college in 2020, I did not have any plans to pursue MBA in the future. I I had a plan for myself that maybe I'll work for 2 3 years, then I'll go abroad to do an MS. But during the course of my work experience, I started to realize that um, just uh, just staying in the technical field would not be optimal for my personal growth as I saw it, because working in a bank I was also exposed to a lot of various business functions in the financial industry. And on a personal level as well, I had started to read more about markets, make my own investment strategies, read a lot of literature around it. So I started to think that maybe I would prefer a role change where I can get into, some market roles in like equity research or, these kind of roles. So I talked around to some of my seniors who had made this switch from my college, and I felt MBA would be the next most logical step for me right now in my journey. So yeah, that is how I, started going along with the CAT prep, and this year was my second attempt actually. Last year, I had scored a 99.1 percentile, so did not receive calls from any of the top colleges in the country. So yeah, I decided that this time I'll take a small break before CAT and make sure I get a decent enough score to secure the call. So yeah, grateful for this position I'm in right now.
So here we can see the contrast between Amit and Ishan, right? So Amit was someone who has decided that he is going to go for a MBA preparation or CAT preparation from his college days. And Ishan used to see that like I'm going for a MS, but after working some days, right? So I can see people in CAT preparation, the freshers also come, or maybe college graduates also come. And we also see that people coming with a lot of work, 2 years, 3 years, even 4 year work experience, they start. So there is no like a single funda around it, or there is no differentiation between the people who are freshers or who are work experience. So you will be getting points depending on your work ex, right? You'll be getting points on your academic diversity and all. So people think that I haven't started preparation when I was in college, now I don't have a time. So Ishan is the best example. Even after working 2 years, or even not thinking about MBA in the starting days of college or starting his career, he can crack. So anyone who is working or who is just entered in a corporate, they can find out their interest areas, and depending on that they can decide that they are going for MS or MBA. So Ishan is the best example. When he passed out of from the college, he has seen that he had decided to go for MS. But when he went to work in a corporate, he has taken a more informed decision. So everyone should take inspiration from Ishan, and they should take the informed decision rather than their preconceived motions, right? Motions they have. We hear someone, or maybe my cousins have done MS, so I should also go for, right? So such type things doesn't work actually in career. If you have inclination towards more towards business, then you should definitely look for MBA preparation. If you are like the person who can code, or who are more interested in technicals, so they can go for MS degree. So I know Amit is also very good at technicals, right? But maybe Amit has decided that this is not something I'm going to do for next 10 or 15 years, right? That's why maybe he thought that no, technical field is there. I have participated in 5G implementation of Geo, but now I have to step up and go towards toward the business roles. So now, Amit, I want to hear from that how you started your preparation, what was your strategy, and how you approach your complete prep.
Okay, so when I started in my third year, like December 2020, in my final year exams. So first of all, I thought that I would prepare myself without taking coaching. So I started journey with some YouTube preparations, general videos which are there in YouTube. But after a few months, I realized that just by YouTube preparation, there's plethora of content available in YouTube, and you are not able to grasp whatever is necessary and what is not necessary for your preparation. So I decided that I can take, my friend has that decided to join some coaching classes, and he had those videos from, I guess, Telegram or somewhere, which was in his files. So I took those videos and classes and lectures and prepared by myself. By the end of May or something, I joined two test series in my first year, like first attempt, IMS and Career Launcher test series. So more preparation was towards test series rather than completing content, and more into, like, I basically go got through these basics concepts. Then I decided to focus more on test series and mocks, and then analyzing those mocks in this. This year I have just prepared, given mocks and analyzed those mocks. That's it. So this was the step.
You're on mute, sir.
As we always say that we go for a concept check. Once your concepts are clear, you have built your foundation, just start taking up mocks. We generally find this mistake, like every year participant think that they should cover the syllabus, right? So I always say there is no syllabus of CAT. Whatever syllabus is there or whatever thing they ask, that you have already done till class 10th or maybe till class 12th, right? Mostly the CAT syllabus focuses on till class 10th, say, right? We learn to read, we learn to solve maths, basic maths question till class 10th. The higher mathematics comes from class 11th, and that is not covered. So participants should not only focus on completing the syllabus or anything. Once the test series have started, you guys should take these test series and focus on that. So Ishan, if you have anything to contribute on that, maybe your strategy will be different from Amit's.
No, my strategy was also pretty similar to Amit's. So what I found out during my last attempt as well, I had not prepared much. So I understood that VRC was probably a strong section of mine. And I used to lose a lot of marks in DILR. And sometimes my quant section also used to go for a toss. So what I identified for myself was DILR practice. You just have to keep attempting the past year papers, make sure you analyze the mocks perfectly. And for quant, some topics which you kind of lose touch over the years, like for example geometry, some shortcuts which you can apply so that you are able to solve the question, a lot quicker. So these were some of the concepts I actually focused on. And rest of the stuff, again, I also had taken two test series. And in the month leading up to CAT, where I left my job, I used to give a mock test every day. Every day I used to give it in my 4:30 to 6:30 CAT slot time, and I used to analyze it the next day morning. So for 30 days, I gave around 25 to 30 mocks. So yeah, that was my strategy to properly get into that, paper attempting mind frame and making sure I'm emotionally and mentally stable as well for the final day. So yeah, that was my strategy.
So that is like great thing to hear from you, right? So and giving up one mock per day and analyzing on the next day, that is the huge achievement, right? So for that you need to be very disciplined. You need to know you don't have any other plans or you don't have anything to do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we have lot of things on our plate and we keep ignoring the, most of the time we take the mocks and we don't analyze this. So that is the mistake we have seen in the past and most of the people do. So they keep on giving the mocks but they don't analyze. So people should also analyze those mocks, only then you know where you are lagging. The second point that Yusan has told, so we assume that we are engineers and we are good at quants, right? So he said that even after being an engineer, he knows or he knew that VRC is my strong part, QA is not my strong. So people should always don't take anything for granted, right? So if I am an engineer, it doesn't mean that I'm good at QA or I'm not good at VRC. So always try to find your strength and weakness and work around it. Try to maximize your strength and work on your weaknesses also at the same time, so that you have a good percentile, or at least the you are clearing the cutoffs there, right? So I know people who get 100 percentile in one section and they are hardly getting the clearing the cutoff, right? Or maybe sometimes they miss the cutoffs also. So balanced strategy always works, right? So you if you are not going to get selection if you don't have a at least the minimum basic percentile in one section. So people should always find out those weak areas and you can take your score ahead, or you can score more in your strong section. So here comes the like what is the preparation strategy of Ishan and Amit. Now we'll focus on the second part of preparation that people mostly ignore, or people don't like, they think that once they got the percentile, they are going to like B schools come to their home and take them along, or they will just send the selection letters. This is not going to happen. So we have seen people scoring 100 percentile getting rejected from top B school in India. So Ishan, what was your approach and how you have done this, or how a prep zone have helped you in this journey?
Yeah, so initially when the results came out, I had not planned to join any prep coaching for in my interviews, but I did have a lot of time on my hands, and I realized that because last year I'd converted IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, and did not take some specific preparation for my interviews last year. So this time also I thought, yeah, okay, maybe again I'll go with the same strategy. But once I started to see some past interview experiences and the level of detail some colleges like ABC actually go into, I felt that somewhere you need to have that structured preparation plan. And joining Prepzone again was a unique program in the sense that uh, they did have a lot of seniors who are actually studying in the business school. So the opportunity to network with those people was, you know, it really appealed to me. And the kind of talk I had with Shubham sir also, he pitched that we have, daily discussions on various current affairs topics, and there are specific material for your own undergrad subject as well. So that really helped me, and I got to make a lot of friends who had a similar profile to mine in Prepzone. So we actually pooled some time together, once or twice a week. We used to get on call and prepare together. So yeah, I believe it helped a lot. And what I would say is that as my profile, even though I'm a computer science engineer, because I worked in a bank, a lot of my interviews just went around finance, markets, banking. In only my, I think only IIM Indore interview was I asked about my undergrad subjects and anything CS related at all. So it does not really, I mean, it's not necessary that if you are an engineer, you're from mechanical, they are going to ask you. You should have a good overall whole understanding of the industry you are working in, the competitors, what's the future outlook for this. So putting all of this into context, I believe Prepzone did help me a lot.
Yeah. So thanks, Ishan. Thanks for that shout out. So people think that they are engineers, so and they have worked for 2 years, so they are not going to be asked about their graduation subjects. Even when I was preparing, I had 3 years of work experience. Even then, I was asked computer science subjects. People think that they are working in banks or they work as a software engineer, they will not be asked about how banks functions, right? So it is expected from people, if you are working in bank, you should know at least the basics of what is repo rate, reverse repo rate, LIBOR, right? So basic things. So as Ishan said that he was not asked anything related to computer science, even though he was coming from that background, he was asked mostly about his work ex. So those subject matter expertise is just to know you that how curious you are about that field, right? If you're not curious, how you are going to contribute in the B schools? So B school mostly pick those people who are curious, who are like hardworking, who give importance to studies also, right? So they are like schools. We generally don't, they are not the placement agency, they are the schools. If you are going to a school, they should take people who are going to contribute something to their discussions. That's why we see that a lot of diversity points are giving these days. Diversity only comes if someone is like coming from political background, right? So we see a lot of businesses getting impacted because of political impacts. So if something is going wrong in Ukraine, you should know that how your going business going to be impacted. If you don't know, then you keep on spending something on making some solutions for Ukraine banks, and suddenly you are going to lose that money, right? So such type of things you should know, at least have a basic idea, then you are going to be comfortable. So Amit, now you can share that how Prepzone has helped you in the second phase of your preparation.
So by last year interview, I realized that interviews are just a part of surprises. So you cannot, like, I was quite good in technical aspects or academic aspects courses. I was able to answer most of the questions, but even though I was into this field of UPSC preparation, so I had an idea about the general topics and subjects. But in my personal HRs, I was not so fluent or knowingly about myself and how I was able to articulate my thoughts about my journey. So I thought this is the one of the reasons I joined Prepzone. I talked to some last year students, which we prepared together for GDPI. So this year they suggested that Prepzone has a structured course. Like, what I realized after joining Prepzone is that structured process is necessary for timely usage. Like, if you have slots for different streams like personal HR questions or academics, if you are mixing things up, then this would not help. Also, mock interviews are one of the important aspects of this B school process. Like, different interviews, different mentors have different perspective of looking interviews. Like in Prepzone, when I had interviewed with you, that was completely different from what I had with Subham sir. So those were the different things which has helped me in interviews. Like in one of my Bangalore interviews, it was completely technical on my academics, but in Calcutta interview, it was mostly on my hobby. So you have to prepare every aspect of your life completely, and Prepzone helps in that by giving important importance to different fields. That's
So thanks, Amit. Thanks for your input. So I see the things, right. So maybe in nets, if you keep on playing Rashid Khan and Jofra Archer, you are not going to perform actually well in the actual game, right? So same thing comes in your interview prep or your whole preparation journey. If you are just solving the number system questions, this is not going to help. Hardly you are going to get one or two questions on number system or geometry. You should be thorough with all the concepts of math if you want to clear QA. For DILR, you just can't be solving the games and tournament question throughout 5 to 6 months of your preparation, or maybe more than that. So same thing comes in your interview prep or the second phase leg of your preparation. You should know, like, why do you want to do MBA? This question is being asked from 1961 when IIM Calcutta started till that same day. But you just can't copy paste someone else question to someone else answer to yours, right? It's your story, your life. Why do you want to do MBA, right? So your motivation will be different than mine, right? So people don't think, and they just hear from somewhere, or they just don't think that how my weakness and strength answer can be a game changer in an interview, right? And as Amit said that he was asked question about his hobby for 20 minutes, he was asked about his hobbies, right? So they want to know you as a person. Otherwise, they would have given the selection letter just based on your percentile or on your based on your profile, right? So why they want to know you're a person? Because you will be sitting in the B school and you will be contributing in those discussions. So it's very important, if you want to crack good B school, you should do a proper prep and the structured preparation that we help as a prep zone. And this is something people should be putting in their mind, that not only cracking cat or getting a good percentile is enough. You need to be like giving a good preparation time for this, because almost 35 to 50% of weightage is given only to one PI on those 20 to 30 minutes that will be deciding your future, which B schools you are going to join. So thanks Ishan, thanks Amit for this, for giving this time. So if you have any doubts, you can post your doubts in the comment box. So thanks Amit once again. Thanks Ishan.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.